Why am I dancing with that trans person?
Another depressing topic is there is a King of the Hill voice actor who passed away. He was murdered, Jonathan Joss. So I saw the news and initially just felt like, oh, that's sad. You know, his character's great, and seeing him in Parks and Rec, he's a fantastic actor, and that sucks. But it started to make my blood boil so much when I read the statement that led to the husband of this person, who I had no idea that he was queer. I didn't know he was killed due to a hate crime. I'm shocked, you know. And the statement here that I saw from the partner of Jonathan Josh, it just kills me. I don't know how you read this and, you know, have some hope in the world. It sucks. Going off of their statement and their statement alone, maybe they'll come out and say that it was actually they were provocatory.
Listen, posted on the second biggest cesspool on the internet, that being Facebook.
In this situation, and they caused this. You know, I'm not hoping for that. I'm just saying stuff can change, and take it with a grain of salt. But knowing the world that we live in, I think this is probably pretty standard. Someone was bigoted and.
This wasn't a hate crime. I know very little about this. I don't really, like, this is why we need Pride Month. Like, people kill themselves, people die. When you post about it on social media, you truly bring out the worst in people. There's possible hate crime, that there was no evidence, but now they're saying otherwise. Like, the thing is, they're famous. If you start shouting homophobic slurs at someone, that might just be your way of attacking them because you know they're gay. I mean, whether it's a hate crime or not, like, I guess we'll find out. Police have been called to his home about 70 times in the past 2 years. Jesus. He burned down his own house. I'd need to see evidence of that. I'm not. He's married to a biological woman. Also, this partner is a trans man. So very messy.
Wanted to kill some gay people. Like, that's not news. That's just knowing the world that we live in. I think this is probably pretty standard. Someone was bigoted and wanted to kill some gay people. Like,
that's standard. People going around wanting to kill gay people is standard. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but like, standard. Jesus. I think I know what kind of thing we're looking at here. Like, I don't know. These things suck, but it's like, what do you? That's why we still need Pride Month. Well, I mean, I don't know. Is Pride Month working? I don't think it is, personally.
that's not news. That's just life. But
and people kill each other for about 1 million different fucking reasons every year. You know what I mean?
It sucks to see anyone go, just like we talked about with the last person who passed away. Now we see in this case, it just sucks. It sucks to see. It sucks to, hear your fellow human pass. But damn, like, Jonathan Josh was attacked repeatedly by their neighbor who was bigoted. We weren't trying to connect the dots here. Like, they were just bigoted. They
I'd like to see a source on this, if I'm honest.
Called them crazy stuff before. They had interactions that was stemmed from bigotry. And then
Or the guy was a bit of a crazy neighbor and they've been feuding for years.
They pulled a weapon on these people and killed them. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see, like, yeah, they probably were killing them because they were bigoted. Because they were gay, or they were on the spectrum of sexuality.
Yeah, putting two men loving each other. It's a bit, do you need to use this to, like, validate your own identity? It's a bit weird.
That different from the norm, like, there's just no hope. It feels like sometimes, and like these stories really reaffirm that. And why I'm talking about this and the other story, I just kind of wanted to I don't know, I just kind of talk about it. I saw someone say in the comments, and you can see it here right below me, and the people wonder why Pride Month exists. And for a long time, sort of like pre-Trump into Trump, I was thinking like, oh, we don't really need Pride Month. It's just too much. I wouldn't call myself someone who is bigoted by any means to the gay.
Records detailing neighborhood disputes before Jonathan Joss's killing. 59-32. There's no evidence it was a hate crime, but they've kind of pulled back on that. Oh, this is those two. Jesus. I mean, this person... Listen, I shouldn't really say anything. Neighbors were hell, anti-gay slurs, complain about them being loud. with these kind of things, you never know, do you? You hear one side of the story. You really never know. Like these like neighbor disputes, they get fucking insane. And often it gets to the point where it's like a war of attrition and both of them are insane at that point. But it's not like I know anything. About the age gap, yeah. Well, I mean, listen, with like actors and celebrities and stuff, it's quite common, isn't it? One of the pair's neighbors said Joss was difficult to live by. It's been a nightmare. Kenda Gonzalez acknowledged that her husband had a tendency to be loud. They would be out there late at night playing the drums, singing, being a nuisance. If you're going to make it hard for us to live here, you ain't going to get no sleep. Like, man. How old was the younger one? 32, and the other one was 59. And that's how you're behaving. I'm not saying the other people were any better, but like, how is that helping? You know what I mean? How is that helping? Deidre told police Joss approached his house with a crossbow and hurled racial slurs at him. Talk about their dogs fighting with each other. Joss accused Deidre of burning the house down. On the morning of the fire, he was using a barbecue in his living room. Sorry, I forget I'm not on camera. I've been like face palming like so much reading this. Jesus Christ. These people all seem nuts. And this, I don't know, there's something about the way this person looks. Are they okay? Like using a barbecue in his living room because he didn't have heat or electricity, according to the report. However, he said he turned the barbecue off before he left the house to get lunch. Yeah, I'm getting certain vibes from like the look of them. I listen, it's difficult. It's difficult. You don't really know when you look at someone what they're like, obviously. It's just, I don't know. There's something I can't quite put my finger on. Unnamed person saw Deidre on this property the day before, suggested Deidre was responsible. It doesn't sound like we're ever going to know for sure, but like using a barbecue in your living room, then stopping the barbecue, turning it off, and going to get lunch. Found the skull of a dog on their property. Thought the skull was that of their dog that perished in the fire, and the neighbor placed it there to taunt them. Incident prompted Joss to... Wait. So it was this Deidre person. I mean, it's a bit crazy, like, shooting your former neighbor when they don't fucking live there anymore. It doesn't seem like he was living a quiet life, minding his own business. Yeah, Jesus. So this is the accused shooter. Okay, fair enough. Okay. That might have been a reason why it wasn't mentioned. A hate crime. Yeah, I'm not sold that this was a hate crime. It sounds like there was a lot of shit building up for years between these people.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at 5 starts right now.
The man accused of shooting and killing Hollywood actor Jonathan Joss here in San Antonio has been released from the Bexar County Jail. Sigfredo Ceja Alvarez posted a $200,000 bond yesterday, but was released just after 3:30 p.m. today. Meanwhile, video recorded by a neighbor shows Jonathan Joss in the hours before his murder. He's seen yelling and cussing and holding that pitchfork.
It shows Joss confronting neighbors on his South Side street Sunday evening. Our Katrina Weber spoke with the woman who shot this video and calls it just a snippet of everyday life.
Something or someone was bugging Jonathan Joss. The 59-year-old actor seen in this video pacing with a pitchfork in hand made that point Sunday in the middle of Dorsey Street.
You guys are caping me for what? I'm walking down the street. I'm rehearsing. I make movies, man.
Although he said he was acting, some of his Southside
Yeah, something is not right there. Is he on anything? Like, I don't know.
neighbors say his 4-minute monologue felt very real and scary.
Like, he's always...
Like, someone that hopped up, someone that, like, tense, walking around with a pitchfork. I think people are going to feel threatened. Like, Jesus. That's not to say that I think he deserves being shot. But then, why are people making YouTube videos just citing the fact this person died? Using the Facebook post. And then that's literally it. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't you be doing your due diligence? Shouldn't you look up what's going on? Fuck around and find out. I mean, yeah, like, I hate putting it that way. Because nothing, you know, someone getting shot or whatever, that's not... I'm not going to excuse that, you know?
yelling like at the top of his lungs. He would say that all the children in the street were gonna die and that we were all gonna go to hell.
Daniela Ruano recorded the tense scene on her cell phone.
I can yell, I can scream, I can pray. Whatever I want.
About half an hour later, Joss had been shot dead. San Antonio police arrested another neighbor, 56-year-old Sigfredo Ceja Alvarez, on a murder charge. Police reports show numerous clashes between the two men in the past.
I think, like, this...
Listen, there is a chance that self-defense is what happened, for sure. I can't rule that out, you know.
This whole thing happened because he was just pushed to his limit.
Despite social media posts to the contrary, police say there's no evidence so far that Joss, who was gay, was killed because of that.
Yeah, they've gone back on that, to be clear.
He was best known for voicing the animated character John Redcorn in the King of the Hill series. That video depicts what neighbors say was everyday life with Joss, but his death clearly has impacted those who knew him in a different light, his friends and fans.
The whole thing was horrible.
Oh, hi, Kat. No, I'm not unwell. I just look like shit today. I didn't get much sleep, so yeah, hope you're good. Like the reports about the horrible death of Matt Shepard left out giant criminal aspects of why he was killed. Doesn't absolve who killed him, but he wasn't killed for being gay. Yeah, I've heard bits and pieces about that. I only ever hear the version that that people tend to tell. And yeah, you know, it doesn't mean that someone like that deserves to die or whatever, but this is what I mean. I wish people would be honest. I wish the media would be honest. I wish YouTubers would be honest. I know, it's a big part of why I'm doing any of this. Not really that gay is married to a woman. Well, a woman that's like, you know, it's complicated.
No one deserves to be shot.
Even in the neighborhood, it seems it's not the ending anyone expected. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12.
Crazy.
Hey, man, we better walk you down the street, man. You can't get me back. Walking, man. Pero si se está grabando, que lo grabes. You don't see? No, está yo.
Quiero que lo grabes.
Say what you want.
¿Está grabando?
Walk you down the street. Don't put stuff up here. No. Woo! You guys are caping me for what? I'm walking down the street. I'm rehearsing.
Okay.
I make movies, man. I'm rehearsing the scene. Let's go die.
Y se oye todo lo que está diciendo.
You gonna look like that? I'm just walking down the street. You're taping me.
¿O no me escuchas?
Feel like that, man. What's it feel like?
Tengo que ponerme a hacer
Think
la
you're
cámara.
gonna be going somewhere else. What's it feel like, bro? Debbie, how you feel? That guarantee, boy, when you go to bed, you don't know where you're gonna wake up.
Yeah, it's very clear something is like, this person can't be sober, surely.
You pull a gun on somebody, that's reason for deportation, man. The cops dropped the case because they had no witnesses, right? But I had a witness. Like, habla con la policía. So we're going to reopen the case. And look, I don't have to do it just like the cops put you with me. The cops put you. But this is the case. Mine wasn't a felony. Yours would be a felony. Think about it. You read that paper.
Yeah, people are saying math, and someone said about them cooking meth in their house, and that might have been a problem with the fire or whatever, but I don't know. I need to look more into it.
Sign it. Reason for deportation. Oh, look.
I mean, surely someone called the police or something.
In the street, they put wires. Ain't doing nothing wrong, sir. I'm the police. You guys called the cops when I'm not here. I can yell, I can scream, I can pray. Whatever I want. And they don't mean I'm crazy. They don't mean I'm I mean, I got the hand of God. Right there, man. You're taking pictures of me with my dog. Actually, you're dead. You're a coward. Don't even know how to take a gun off the safe. You know me, I'm a man. What's this? And if you don't follow the response,
¿Decir qué? No
that's the worst thing you
no
can
está
do.
haciendo nada malo.
I ain't doing nothing wrong, man.
When you have troubles with multiple neighbors, you have to start wondering what the common denominator is. I guess, yeah. All of this shit was like nuts. They called like 50 times before and nothing gets fixed. Right.
Ask you why you're filming.
Cierto.
I pray, yell, scream all over.
Pero nosotros podemos, pues, en esta casa de aquí,
Call the cops, man.
tomar
What they gonna
videos.
do? It's the reason for mystery helping.
Sí, él está en la calle y nosotros estamos en esta casa.
Yeah, but like these neighbor disputes, they get fucking crazy. Even if he wasn't like the one that kind of kicked it off. Obviously things escalated. Obviously both sides are escalating, you know. It never helps anyone. Listen, I try and keep away from my neighbors. It's just easier if I don't talk to anyone. I'm less likely to have a problem with anyone, you know.
So, ¿qué tienes?
¿Por qué no hablas? ¿Por qué no?
¿Por qué no?
¿Puedo hablar, no? I told you, man. You had a problem with me? Go kick my ass.
¿Qué pasó?
Remember the time I saw you in school? Remember? I nodded my head. Gave you respect. You don't deserve respect, sir. At the scene of a crime, arson, they look at the people who's reporting, who's enjoying it. That's rule number one when they investigate a scene.
Yeah, he's yelling with a pitchfork now that it's all clearly been building up for a long time, you know.
So, since you had pleasure filming me with my dead dog, you're enjoying it. That was 4 officers here watching you. Enjoy. I just gotta open the case, man. Even the cop, you guys called the police and I was your cops. I don't know why they're calling you. We're here to cover one. I want to see the license wrong they're doing. The street. Guy over there, locked off, man. No more nothing. How's business? What's the business? Take money. Oh, goodness. Can you send me a copy of that? Because the last time you sent it to the police, guess what? They said you changed it. So keep filming, good boy. Boy.
Wow.
The puppy says hello.
Jesus, this is like dark. Oh, so he's admitted to it. Crazy. And one of the neighbors said that the guy that shot him was pushed to his limit. Yeah, I'm not buying at all that this was a hate crime. But I mean, listen, we're getting a very one-sided view of everything from this video. Yeah, murdered by someone who could not stand the sight of two men loving each other. Covered the skull of one of our dogs. Yelling and crying in response to the pain of what we saw. That doesn't really sound very much like what we were looking at, you know what I mean? So I don't think this is a very honest reading of this, to be honest. And people like this are going to use things like this to say, oh, well, this is why we need more. This is why we need Pride Month, because these hate crimes are happening. Well, this doesn't look like a hate crime to me. That's not to excuse anything, but Jesus Christ.
Started to make my blood boil so much when I read the statement that led to the husband of this person, who I had no idea that he was queer. I didn't know he was killed due to a hate crime. I'm shocked, you know. And the statement here that I saw from the partner of Jonathan Josh, it just kills me. I don't know how you read this and, you know, have some hope in the world. It sucks.
I don't know how you read this and have hope in the world. Like, this is clearly a very crazy situation that had been building and building for a long time. And we're just treating it as if, oh, someone saw a gay person, I know, I'll just pull out a gun and fucking shoot him in the head. It was a bit more to it than that, you know?
Going off of their statement and their statement alone, maybe they'll come out and say...
Yeah, I'm going off of their statement alone. Why not do any research? Why not look up anything about this? And like, I haven't done any research, but I'm going to conclude gay people are getting shot left, right, and center for the crime of being gay. And this is why we need Pride Month. I'm like, I shouldn't be shocked anymore. Listen, most people that make YouTube videos about shit like this, they don't actually look into anything. They see what happens. They see a very biased statement. I know, what are you supposed to do? It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. This is why it's very important. Anyone on YouTube, even myself, you got to be very careful what you believe from anyone. Hi, Porno9, I hope you're good.
That it was actually, they were provocateurs in the situation, and they caused this. I'm not hoping for that. I'm just saying stuff can change, and take it with a grain of salt. But knowing the
But you're going to conclude all this kind of shit anyway. Jesus Christ.
world that we live in, I think this is probably pretty standard. Someone was bigoted and wanted to kill some gay people. Like, that's just take it with a grain of salt. But knowing the world that we live in, I think this is probably pretty standard. Someone was bigoted and wanted to kill some gay people. Like,
How ignorant. Like, why do this? You do not have to do this. You could look into this. If you don't feel like you understand the situation adequately, either be more non-committal about it, or just don't talk about it. I don't know, man. Like, anything that I can't verify, I'm like, well, I don't know. To me, it doesn't look like a hate crime. I don't know that that guy didn't fucking hate him for being gay, but like, clearly there's more to the story. Clearly, you know, at the very least, it was two people antagonizing each other over a long period of time. And other neighbors are saying that this person was hard to live with. By their own apparent admission, they were making shit tons of noise at night because they were pissed off at their neighbors. So both sides, at the very least, are escalating like shit.
that's not news.
Who hasn't figured out that Pride Month has not been helping public opinion of LGBT people now for the past decade? Yeah, I agree. I think it's too much. I don't think we need it. Myself.
That's just life. But it sucks to see anyone go, just like we talked about with the last person who passed away. Now we see in this case, it just sucks.
And then a person that killed themselves, like, why did they kill themselves? Do you actually know, ultimately? What else did they have going on with them? I don't know. If my life ended before my time, the chances of it, because I'm trans, are like extremely low, quite honestly. I don't think I would do something like that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I don't know, being trans is not a difficult part of my life. Maybe I'll just have other stuff going on that puts it in perspective, I don't know, but we see these things and just at face value, we conclude that the world is like the most terrifying place in the world for gay people. No wonder people freak out so much when any tiny thing happens. Whenever some legislation comes out or some change to some legislation comes out, and we talk about how like hostile the world is to gay people, but then whenever you look into any one of these like situations, there's just so obviously so much more to it, and it sucks, you know what I mean? Like, you're not helping anyone by propagandizing this kind of viewpoint. You're not helping anyone by like encouraging others to freak out. In fact, I wish we would do the opposite more often. And if something's not like really about someone's sexuality and is not about a hate crime, then we shouldn't be pushing it that way, because that's only going to encourage people to freak out more who are that kind of thing, who are gay or trans or whatever. That's irresponsible, ultimately, is what this is to me.
It sucks to see. It sucks to, hear your fellow human pass, but damn, like, Jonathan Josh was attacked repeatedly by their neighbor who was bigoted. We weren't trying to connect the dots here. Like, they were just bigoted. They called them crazy stuff before.
After all that saying, oh, I don't know, take it with a pinch of salt, maybe there's more to it. Oh my God, this is nasty.
Interactions that was stemmed from bigotry, and then they pulled a weapon on these people and killed them. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see, like, yeah, they probably were killing them because they were bigoted, because they were gay, or they were on the spectrum of sexuality that differed from the norm. Like, there's just no hope. It feels like sometimes, and like these stories really reaffirm that.
Yeah, I agree. There's no hope sometimes, but Jesus fuck is not for the reason you're saying. It's because of people like you. This is why there's no hope. Because you don't do 2 seconds of research to understand anything about this situation. Doesn't justify killing someone, of course not. But there's a heck of a lot more to it than some gay guy returns to check his mail and someone sees him. Oh, you're that gay guy. I know, I'll pop you in the head. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
And damn, like, Jonathan Josh was attacked repeatedly by their neighbor who was bigoted. We weren't trying to connect the dots here. Like, they were just bigoted. They called him crazy.
I mean, if we're going to believe people's testimonies at face value, apparently maybe both of them were like racist towards their neighbors. So it's like, okay, were both of them racist then? Were both of them bigoted, should I say? Jesus Christ.
Crazy stuff before. They had interactions that led...
You don't want to see me today, trust me. Also, hi, Lilith.
That was stemmed from bigotry. And then they pulled a weapon on these people and killed them. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see, like, yeah, they probably were killing them because they were bigoted, because they were gay, you know, or they were on the spectrum of sexuality that differed from the norm, you know.
It's like parody, isn't it? It's like parody.
Like, there's just no hope, it feels like sometimes, and like these stories really...
There's no hope. And you've looked into this like nothing whatsoever.
Reaffirm that. And why I'm talking about this and the other story, I just kind of wanted to... I don't know. I just kind of talk about it. I saw someone say in the comments, and you can see it here right below me, and the people wonder why Pride Month exists. And for a long time, sort of like pre-Trump into Trump, I was thinking like, oh, we don't really need Pride Month. It's just too much. I would have called myself some...
Why does anything like this, even if this was a hate crime, why does it mean that we still need Pride Month? What is Pride Month doing about hate crimes?
Someone who is bigoted by any means to the gay community, queer community. But I did feel a sense of like, as time was going on, especially after gay marriage was codified by the Supreme Court, was it had to be codified, or was it just the Supreme Court overruling that led to? Before I even get there, there was sort of this like woke era of time where like you would see like a company post gay pride stuff. That seems so gone now. Like, people are still posting that. I saw the Diamondbacks, my baseball team, posted about like, hey, gay month, awesome, cool. And you know, look at some...
Do you think this perhaps says more about the mental health of him if he's so caught up in this? Do you mean the person speaking? I mean, I don't know. I think it does say a lot about these people. The way they kind of talk about these things and treat them as some kind of bigger picture thing. You know what I mean? Being bigoted is very human. That is true. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. Is it the worst thing a human can be? Probably not, no.
Something like a Tesla where like 2-3 years ago they were...
You could be completely non-bigoted and just go around killing people indiscriminately. That's probably a worse thing than just being a bit racist or homophobic or something.
Posting about Pride Month and how they celebrate their diversity and yada yada yada. Now it's like, I would never even think of that to be a thing. But that's Twitter. In real life, people still celebrate, you know, gay pride, and people seem to be more diverse than the internet gives it, and it seems to be a positive thing. But it does feel like, especially with the current administration, like when you hear people like, oh, DEI's...
I don't think... Wait, what are we talking about? Diversity or pride? Hang on. Because I don't think pride is a positive thing at all. I think it's become a very exclusionary thing.
People seem to be more diverse than the internet gives it, and it seems to be a positive thing.
Okay, we're talking about diversity now. I mean, listen, diversity, I think, is generally a good thing. It has the strengths and weaknesses.
But it does feel like, especially with the current administration, like when you hear people like, oh, DEI's woke.
You don't want to be so like diverse that no one can get on. You don't want to be so homogenous that everyone is just the same, you know. There's some kind of balance there to be had.
Dead. I don't even know if they believe in that. Like, I don't even know if that was ever, if DEI, the way they see it, was ever a thing. But it does feel like there is a shift in the culture. It inevitably will shift back. That's just how cultures work. They shift, they change. Some stuff stays sort of like permanent. Like, people used to hate interracial marriage.
Yeah, okay, it just cuts off randomly. I thought that was nuts. I don't know why you would just read this one thing, admit that you haven't done any research, and then come to a bunch of conclusions anyway, and act like, oh, this is why we need pride. Oh, it's very standard, just someone wanted to go out and kill a gay person. Well, it clearly wasn't just about that, you know what I mean? Maybe there's a homophobia aspect. If we're believing the testimonies that we've had a look at, then it kind of seems like there was a racism aspect on the other side, according to the testimonies. I'm trying not to, like, be firm in any of those conclusions because I don't know any of these people. And one of them isn't around to ask anymore. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know why these people do this. I don't know why these people find these kind of things that are extremely ambiguous in a lot of ways and very breaking. And you might just end up looking like a complete fucking retard in like 3 months when we know so much more about what actually happened and why it happened. When this guy hasn't seen videos of this guy walking up and down the street holding a pitchfork and like yelling about stuff not long before he was shot, you know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, you're always the ones telling everyone else to do better. I think it's my turn to start telling you all to do better.